Hello and welcome to the Relo.ai podcast, your guide to navigating the complexities of moving, working, and thriving in the medical field. I'm your host, Megan, reporting for Relo.ai. Today, we are stripping back the layers of a process that is often more complicated than it looks, the doctor relocation timeline. Picture this. The offer letter arrives quietly. It's a PDF with a salary figure and a tentative start date. For many physicians, signing that document feels like the finish line. You think, great, I'm hired. Now I just pack a bag and go. But here's the reality check. That offer letter isn't the end. It's actually the start of a much longer, often uneven journey. The gap between saying yes and actually treating your first patient is filled with regulatory hurdles, financial risks, and logistical chaos. Whether you are moving for a fellowship, a leadership role, or just to be closer to family, you need to know what happens in that gap. So, today, we are walking through the 8 critical stages of doctor relocation, from the contract to the clinic floor. Let's start with stage 1, the offer letter review. This is where mistakes are weighed. Everyone looks at the compensation, but you need to look at the relocation terms. Who pays for the move? Is there a cap on the stipend? What about taxes? If you accept an offer without clarifying these details, you're going to absorb those costs later. At Relo.ai, we always tell physicians, treat the relocation clause with the same seriousness as your salary clause. That leads us to stage 2, contract finalization. You sign the deal and there's a start date on the paper, but that date is often, let's call it, aspirational. Real relocation depends on approval bodies that you don't control. You need language in your contract that ties your start date to completed credentialing. Why? To protect your income. If the hospital is delayed, you shouldn't be the one left without a paycheck. Now we enter the slow zone. Stage 3 is state licensing. This is the longest, least predictable part of the move. Some states take weeks, others take months. A missing transcript or a background check blip can reset the clock. Here's the hard truth. While this is happening, your income usually pauses. You need to plan financial reserves for this phase. Once the state says yes, the hospital has to say yes. Stage 4 is credentialing and privileging. Hospital committees meet on fixed schedules. If your paperwork misses the cutoff for the monthly meeting, you're waiting another month. Delays here aren't usually because of physician error. It's just how institutions work. They prioritize risk mitigation over speed. Moving on to stage 5, insurance enrollment. You might be credentialed, but can you bill? If payer enrollment isn't done, you might be on site working, but the revenue isn't coming in. In productivity-based roles, this is a disaster for your earnings. You need to know if your employer provides interim income coverage while the insurance companies process your paperwork. All right, we've done the paperwork. Now let's talk about real life. Stage 6 is the physical move. While you're fighting with the medical board, you also have to actually move. Housing, schools for the kids, a spouse changing jobs. Research shows that physician burnout is heavily linked to relocation stress. If you are trying to find a house while worrying about your license, that strain compounds. Stage 7 is pre-onboarding. This is the training, EHR systems, compliance modules, orientation. If you arrive exhausted from the move, you won't retain this information. We always suggest trying to finish your physical move before this stage begins so you can actually focus. And finally, stage 8, first day on the floor, the first shift. The journey's over, right? Not really. You still lack a local network. The commute is new, the systems are different. Hospitals that treat relocation as complete on day 1 often see higher turnover. Real retention comes from sustained support in those first 6 months. So, that's the timeline. It sounds daunting, I know, but here's the good news. You can speed this up without creating risk. The secret isn't pressure, it's preparation. prepare documents early, run steps in parallel, and centralize coordination. This is exactly where Relo.ai comes in. We don't just move boxes, we support the entire transition. We help align your licensing timelines, your credentialing workflows, and your housing search. We even have a relocation cost estimator that gives you early visibility into expenses so you're not guessing with your bank account. The bottom line is this: doctor relocation is more than a change of address. It's a complex web of licensing, logistics, and life changes. If you're a physician planning a move, let's talk. Visit us at Relo.ai to set up a free consultation. Don't let the process overwhelm you. Let's get you moved, settled, and ready to practice. Thanks for listening.